The Pistons are the basketball champions of the world.
Detroit, it's time. It's playoff time, Detroit. Let's go to work.
Shout out Detroit. I got to buff up, you know what I'm saying? Detroit, I'm all the way in. Detroit Pistons, I'm all the way in. Let's do it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Buffs On Podcast. We are the best POD in the 313. I mean, kind of. We've been away for a bit, but we got a good excuse. The Pistons have been terrible. But we're going to talk about a lot of that today. We got a lot of good stuff to talk to you guys about today. We got some James Edwards-inspired questions, and then Gabe's got some trade proposals for us. And then Connie come up with a few topics for us to go over as well. So Connie, I'm just gonna throw it over to you, man. You facilitate. Where are we going first here?
Let's go for the James Edwards, man. Let's hook on to a bigger name and
All right,
get
let's
some
do it.
good content going.
Yeah, let's not lose the viewers in the first 10 seconds. All right, so first question here. How did you feel about the Pistons offseason, and would you have preferred them have an offseason that would be more similar to the Rockets, where they went out and spent big money on guys like a Fred VanVleet or Dylan Brooks? So would you rather have the Rockets offseason, or would you rather have the Pistons offseason? We'll start with you, Connie, and then we'll go to Gabe.
I mean, you can't really look at the Pistons right now and say that you would rather have the Pistons offseason, because the Pistons offseason has led into this season, which has been just recently hallmarked with the longest losing streak in franchise history. So I can't in good conscience say, yeah, I'd prefer the Pistons offseason. Even though in the offseason, I think we were all kind of talking it up, not as like some sort of major move, but I thought we made some moves for some nice vets. Now those vets haven't really played. But yeah, I mean, not Fred VanVleet. I mean, I wouldn't have mind a Dylan Brooks, but if
Really? Hot take.
I think he would go great with some stew, man. Like we hate Dylan Brooks, but Isaiah Stewart is kind of not the same guy because he talks less, but he brings a similar energy of being an asshole on the court. I think once Dylan Brooks was on the Pistons, I think we would have liked Dylan Brooks a whole lot.
I don't know, man. I was happy we didn't bring those guys in, but that's just me. Yeah, continue.
But like being a team that would have spent a little bit of our don't we have a gross amount of money, or is Blake Griffin? Was this the last year where Blake?
No. We got a gross amount of money. It started last offseason, but it's even bigger this time.
Okay, I mean, I wouldn't have minded, a little bit of money towards somebody who is useful, and especially now.
Okay, so hold on. So let's do it this way, right? The Pistons were interested in Cam Johnson and Jeremy Grant. Can you think of any other big names you were linked to?
I mean, not linked to. I can tell you some big names I would have liked on the team.
No. We can't do that. Then that's just hypothetical. But let's try to make this as realistic as possible.
Oh,
Cam Johnson, Fred VanVleet, Dylan Brooks, Jeremy Grant. Would you rather have spent big money on two of those four guys rather than do what we did?
Yeah, I would have liked to spend money on Dylan Brooks and Cam Johnson. Looking back at it, like thinking about those 3-and-D wings that you could put on this team. And actually make it a more competent offense. I think I would have. I mean, is this a bad time to ask me right now? Because
that's what I'm saying, right? Like, it's a bad time to ask you. Like, it would make the season better right now, but it wouldn't help this team in the long run.
PJ Washington? Was there PJ Washington talk? Would have loved me some PJ.
There was, yeah.
That point you just said is exactly why I still would prefer what we did.
Thank you.
Bogdanovic is a better player than both of those guys combined, probably.
What guy?
He just hasn't played a game.
What guys combined?
Brooks and the guy on the Nets, Cam Johnson.
Yeah.
Bogdanovic is extremely efficient, good scorer, smart passer. He's everything we need. He just hasn't played. Monte Morris was, we all agreed, the perfect backup point guard on this team. He hasn't played a game yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the Rockets, they've won some games.
What are they though? 9-6, 8-6?
They're decent.
Nothing crazy.
They're decent. Jalen Green has regressed even more than last year, scoring less points, same efficiency, and it's kind of imagine Reddit is already insane. They're oh, we need to trade Cade. Ivy needs his minutes. Imagine if Brooks was playing over Ivy. You know how mad the entire fan base would be?
Or if like Cam Johnson was playing over Asar.
Yeah, exactly. Like we suck because we're young and we have no vets. And we're also just a disgusting basketball team. But like that aside, I know we have like a future question of like how do we still like are we still optimistic, I guess?
Yeah, bleed
I
into
think
it. Like
I
that's
yeah, I think I'm more optimistic now with what we have because like
As
than
compared
if
to
we
what?
had vets because that's our ceiling pretty much, right?
yeah. I'm
Like
like yeah.
yeah, no, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say exactly what you said. Like, I'm happy that we didn't do anything this offseason. I would rather do what we did and be where we are now than spend big money on Cam Johnson, who's hurt, and Dylan Brooks, who I just do not want on this team. And now you're locked in for what, 4 or 5 years on both of those guys. You got no money going forward. Yeah, this upcoming off season's free agency class is probably not great, but I'd rather have the flexibility than be locked in because then we're in the same boat we've been in for the last however many years.
Exactly, chasing mediocrity, which at this point seems like a great thing. Like, oh, 30 wins. But I was more depressed in the past 10 years before we had Cade than these like trash years after we've had Cade
Yep.
because there's room to improve. And I don't want a mid player like Brooks to be the like, our big fish pretty much.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. Dylan Brooks is not a big fish.
I
He
was
talks like a big fish.
I was having this conversation with Mike, and we were talking before the Wizards game, and he was like, "Rate out of 10 your disappointment so far in this season." And I said an 8 out of 10 because
Yeah.
we all came in here and we talked like at least a pretty good game. I thought this was going to be like a mid-30s win team, and like I'm assuming we've been watching the games, right? We're the ones that are tuning in every night to watch
We
this
we
fucking
might be the only four, yeah.
yeah to
Yeah,
watch
let's
this
see
be
where
on the
those.
court. And then after that Wizards game, he asked me again, and I'm like, I'm a 10 out of 10 disappointed in this season. I mean, that was a blowout by 20 to the Wizards. And my question is like, yeah, we're gonna build up this cap space for this great flexibility. Flexibility to do what? Nobody's coming to sign in Detroit. Like nobody's like, oh man, I'm a 3-and-D role player. I'm a good role player. You know where I want to go? I want to go to that worst team in the league, man.
I
I want to go to
mean,
that booty squad over there where like our offense is going to be stagnant and we're going to suck. Like that's and next year it's not a big thing. I would
what
have
about
loved to
Grant?
sign some deals. Like we could have spent money and signed deals that like ended when we needed to start really paying people, Like throw some big money at some people in the time where the big money doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Because like we're not paying anybody right now, and the big money, like what are we playing for? We're playing for a shot at the first like pick in the draft. This draft, like I've been looking at the prospects, and like the number one prospect is a 6'6" shooting guard who can't shoot the ball. Like I don't want that guy on my team. I don't want the number
There's
2 prospect who's a 7'1" guy who shoots 40-something% on layups in Alex Starr. Like
not to get too deep into prospects here, but I think there's some really intriguing guys. Like I'm sure we'll have some
like where
later pods when we're still the
draft?
worst team in the league. But yeah, there are. That Spanish big, I love him. I forgot his name. It's too early.
Too
early. Yeah, we just know who they are. We don't know like anything about them.
That being said, okay, I'm gonna stop talking about the draft. But the only guy that I think would fit on this team right now and that would help us is Buzelis. Mateus.
Yeah, he's a France
because he can shoot
Wagner
the
pretty
ball,
much.
And he's
yeah,
big, and that's all I care about. I just want to shoot. Like we could have just signed some shooters, man. Could have just thrown some money at some guys. Like why not throw 3 years, $90 million at Dylan Brooks while we're paying nobody else? Like Jared pushes us towards mediocrity, but aren't we trying to be like sort of mediocre? Like it's just kind of like the process six.
Okay, but hold on here. You would rather pay Dylan Brooks 3 years, 90 than give Jaden Ivey minutes. Whose minutes are you really going to take away?
He's playing small forward. Those are different positions.
Asar, then.
Asar. You're going to take minutes from Asar.
Like,
okay, I'm taking.
I thought you were going to come at me with like,
that is leading.
Killian thing.
You can.
Okay, so
As
the
far as
thing
I'm
is,
concerned, you could take minutes from anybody on this team because this team sucks. The guys that are getting minutes are not winning games. So like giving up those minutes to those guys is not like the worst thing in the world.
I see where you're coming from, but I think I'm just more of the developmental mindset than I'd rather
Yeah,
be
but you got to
mediocre.
have something to develop to. Like I saw somewhere like the career average winning percentage of the vets on this team, like the older guys, is like somewhere in the 40s. Like there's nobody on this team that's going to be like, this is how you win. It's just a bunch of
Bogey
guys. Yeah,
on
yeah,
Utah.
one guy, one old European man that for sure relates to the
Joe
young
Harris was on
Americans
some
on
pretty
this
good
team, bro.
Nets teams out there,
Joe
wasn't he?
Harris was a good role player. Monte Morris
Monte
was on
Morris
those.
played with one of the greatest centers of all time. Joe
Yeah,
Harris played with like Kyrie Irving,
I
James
think
Harden, and Kevin Durant.
I just think we're teaching the guys to lose right now.
I don't
They're
think so. I
learning
think
how to lose.
yeah, I mean, I agree because you can see the effort is kind of decreasing as the season goes on. I think it's just the hope is like faded out of Cade's eyes when he puts up like 28, 8 and 8 every single game, and then people complain, "Oh, he's not efficient. What's wrong with Cade?"
Me.
And then, yeah, but like he literally has to do everything. That's a one thing. I have a big like people are hating on Cade. Like
I don't
been
understand.
at that level. Yeah, like he is the only competent basketball player on the court most nights.
JI.
Yeah,
I think
Okay,
JI. I
okay,
think
for like the
JI's
last
been.
three. No, he's been good, but
I think
like
he's been the best player on the Pistons.
Killian Hayes has been playing most of the games.
That's true.
But I'm so glad
Hayes.
he's out of the rotation now. That's done with. We
he's
don't have
not out
to.
of the rotation. He's just on the bench. Oh, you mean the starting five?
He's getting less and
Managed to
less
slip
minutes
him.
every game. Yeah. And I can't wait
Yeah, I
till
also
Monte
think that's
Morris
because of
comes
the
back.
shoulder. But when he takes the shoulder thing off, I'll see. But yeah, continue.
But this kind
And
of plays.
then
Sorry, no, keep going.
no, I mean if you have anything else on this topic,
No, I was just gonna
go
say
ahead. I was just gonna say the other thing that really annoys me, which kind
this
of moves
this
us
whole
up into the next one.
this whole topic, yeah, plays into the
Be on the
should the
hot seat.
front office and Troy Weaver be on the hot seat?
I just think there's no way, man. All these
I don't.
people that were like, "Oh, Asar needs to play more. Ivy needs to play more." Who do you think brought those guys on the team?
Yeah,
Like we've had terrible lottery luck, except for the year we got Cade, and that was the right pick. The year we got Killian, Bay, and Stu, those are the right picks. I mean,
no, they were not. Obviously,
Killian
At the
Hayes was like
time, yeah.
at the time they were the right picks. I think it was pretty much consensus. Stu and
Okay,
Bay
but just
were
doing
nice.
consensus, that's just doing
I mean,
consensus. Like
Stu
that's not a
wasn't.
spark of a
Stu's
good.
the
Like
Stu was a dark horse.
Sam
best
Presti
player.
takes reaches. Sam Presti punches, and he gets like that. Like he finds, like they find guys, not just take
Weaver
it.
got Westbrook on OKC. He got Ibaka.
And we don't got to deal with any Josh Giddey problems right now.
You got Killer Hayes,
So
I'd
like
rather have Killian Hayes than Josh Giddey problems.
bro.
the
I
the
hope
worst thing
Killian
he's
Hayes
done
does
is the
it.
Wiseman trade. Like that's hands down the worst thing he's done.
Hands down, yeah. I mean,
But
you
like
could make an
by itself.
argument for the Bruce Brown trade, but I think that was way
But
too
like
early.
No, what argument can you make there?
Bruce Brown would never develop on this
Yeah,
team.
that's what I'm saying, right? Like
Yeah,
that.
but we
It was a
traded
bad trade, but it's okay.
Moose.
Yeah, I'm fine with that one. The Sadiq for Wiseman trade right now just looks pretty not.
It's the glaring is just like this isn't a basketball team. Like these individuals have the right mindset. They're good players. It's just not a cohesive basketball team.
They're not good players.
They're good players. Like Asar is a demon. Stu
But
is
they're not
perfect
good
for his
players.
role.
Like good players win games. Asar Thompson, while being a demon, also like kind of crushes your half court offense a lot of the time because
But
he's the worst like shooting wing in the NBA.
yeah,
Like,
but still, I think in half court, he's worse than Cade and Duran. He's better than Stu and Ivy in the half court. I think just the way he cuts an offensive rebound.
I disagree.
But like he's not the problem. I think we like if we had Bogdanovich out there, he wouldn't be an issue, right?
So Bogey comes back, who gets bumped from the starting line,
Stu. I think it has to be Stu.
and that kind of leads into what Valley was talking about, right? Like, how would you feel about Stu coming off the bench?
Pretty
I'd
good
love
about
it. Yeah.
You guys see last game, that Marvin Bagley was a healthy scratch so that they could get a look at James Wiseman?
It was James Wiseman
That's
versus the worst team
BS.
in the league. That's all it was. It was just
That
like,
made
can
me
this dude do things against a
so
bottom tier?
mad.
I think
That's
it's
so stupid. This is our one opportunity to not be a national
what you're saying.
embarrassment, and they're like, "Yeah, let's trot out Wiseman. Let's get these 14 straight losses." Like you've
it
seen
had to be like a
become
practice thing and
suspect
effort or
Detroit
something
bad.
behind
Maybe.
closed doors, and that's just a BS excuse. It has
Yeah.
to be.
I'm just pissed off right now, man. I'm just mad at
Keep
everybody.
going, man. We're too positive on this pod. I'm just gonna hand you the mic, man. Do
So
whatever you
Connie,
want.
since you are mad, do you think there need to be changes?
I just
Either
don't know what the
front
changes would
office
be.
or yeah, exactly. Me neither. I don't think there should be because
Yeah.
there's nothing we can do. There's no need to panic. Our
Yeah,
best
but-
players aren't playing.
Yeah, you just threw the word out there. Panic. Connie, do you want a panic trade? Because that
No.
leads into Gabe's
The
thing too.
panic trade, every single time this sort of thing happens, like the Pistons right now are the bad team with the distressed assets. If there was a panic trade, I can almost guarantee you 100% the Pistons would lose that trade because the asset would go to a better team, become undistressed, and be much better. Like the Pistons are the team right now that the smart teams are like vultures over, and they're like, who can we trick these guys into selling low on because they're not good right now. Like the Kings for a long time were that team. The Pistons, honestly, have been that team. Like you could pick on the weaker teams in trades. So no, I wouldn't say it's panic trade time. I don't know about fireable offenses because like I don't know enough about basketball, I think, to know like truly what the roles are and what is going wrong here. I did see recently that there's two sons, like Troy Weaver's son and Arn Tellem's son are both on like the staff of the Pistons, and I don't like that. There's like some nepotism going on, and I know that has like so little to do with what's going on the court. But you guys saying like everybody's got to earn their spots, and then there's guys getting nepo positions, and that just kind of, I don't know, man. It kind of pisses me off. You know who I think should get fired? Who owns the team? I forgot who.
Gores.
Tom Gores. Sell the Pistons.
I mean,
Wait, what's Tom's fault?
Yeah, I mean, he's investing.
When did he buy
money.
the team? When did Tom Gores buy the team?
I don't know.
I don't know, 2000 something.
But like he's investing money. He's always
He bought
open.
the team in June 2011.
Right when we started watching.
Right when we started watching, and right when the Pistons started being garbage for over a decade. I'm sorry, man. Like,
I mean, I don't care about him. I don't think it's his fault necessarily, but sure.
It's
sell
a
the team
between the entire time they've been bad, pretty much, since they were good. Is Tom Gores.
I think look at the drafting history. What do you want Tom Gores to do about it? Like,
I
how
mean,
many memes have been made about the terrible picks we've made?
Maybe he's in their ear talking about players he likes. You know,
Andre Drummond.
A certain like drug he may or may not be on at times. But okay, so if no panic trades, how about some around the edges trades that I came up with here? See if you guys like these.
Lay him down.
All right, so first we have Wiseman and a 2027 unprotected second round pick for Danilo Gallinari.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The money works, you know, Wizards do it because they get a pick. They have no reason to keep Gallinari. They suck as well. Wiseman can be their project.
Yeah, I mean, they just lost. Who'd they just lose? They just lost
Gafford.
Yeah.
Mike Muscala is injured, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And they get a pick, you know. That I feel like that's a win-win.
And guess who's on the Wizards right now that used to be teammates with James Wiseman?
Oh yeah, his best friend Jordan Poole.
Yeah, you know, like we're just gonna concoct stuff on here. That's all.
Man, I would imagine if they shared the floor together, I'd immediately turn off my TV.
No, but dude, Gallinari on this team, we saw what he could do 2 days ago.
He's a shooter.
Yeah, he's a shooter.
He's a smart player.
I love him. I love what he brings to his squad. Like, yeah, he's not going to be great defensively, but like the man can shoot.
Yeah.
Speaking of shooters, Isaiah Livers has played well. He's shooting it. He's
Oh,
still
He
like he's
he
still
is. He's still a
rough,
little
but he can
rusty.
shoot.
Yeah, exactly.
I would not say he's been playing well. I would
No, okay, he hasn't, but
not like
Yeah, he's been
he's been
rusty, but
shooting
like
it.
it's good to have him back.
he's like kind of slow in his decision making. Like he'll get the ball
Really
at the
slow.
3 point line and he doesn't know if he wants to shoot or do something. So he just kind of stands there for a second and like the defense just sets up.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll give him Rusty, but I have not been a fan of what I've seen from Livers so far.
No, he's been playing too much, I think. He hasn't earned those minutes. But then again, who else
Yeah, we just
would be
need the
playing?
guy with his
I
archetype.
mean, Kevin Knox has been kind of knocked out of the rotation after playing fairly decently
He,
in like the
he
three
started that
games.
one game and then hasn't played since.
Yeah, he played like 2 games off the
Good.
bench after that, and Livers came back and been done.
Like
Go ahead.
I just that Livers playing because I said this in the beginning of the season. I don't know how I feel about Livers, but I like it's the archetype of what Livers is that is so intriguing and why you want to play him. Like the big
Mhm.
shooting defensive wing, but he's not actually like I don't know, been good. So all right, next
All right.
trade.
Yeah, my next trade brings the player up a notch, and I guess we gotta send out more, but I don't think this counts as panic because we don't leave with any like we don't give anything we don't really need. So we have Joe Harris, Wiseman again, Killian Hayes, and a 2026 top 10 protected first round pick for Zach LaVine. Again,
No.
the money works.
2026 top 10 protected.
Can we give that up? Or is that still protected from what
I mean,
we
I'm just assuming like we do like another thing where we can trade a
you can
first
work
round pick.
around that.
Like
Okay,
that can be finagled, yeah.
Yeah, I don't want Zach LaVine right now. I mean, it's considered technically a panic trade, but it's not a panic trade, so I'm gonna say no.
That seems like the exact thing that you were fighting me on about. Like that's basically like spending big money in the offseason. I do love the idea of getting rid of Wiseman and Killian Hayes. That big plus. I mean, I think for this season, yeah. I mean, Levine makes us better by a mile. But how is that different from spending big money on guys in the offseason?
Because he's a better player than you can get in the off season. The only issue I see with this is Levine will probably play your 3, right? But I think with Asar at the 4, and I mean, but then where do you play?
I mean, then
Bogey,
you're
well,
going really small.
yeah, there can be other trades. I just think to get a player of Levine's caliber, who's just an insane scorer for pennies, pretty much. It's not like it's something to think about.
I feel like the only way to do something like that is if you're getting a legit power forward, because that's what we need.
Yeah, it would also be
I
hilarious.
think Asar is a legit power forward.
Not right now, is he?
A bit too
Like
small.
he doesn't have the shooting ability to do it. Like if we got a guy that could shoot it, yeah.
Patrick Williams?
No, that seems like such a Troy Weaver move, though.
No, he's
Patrick Williams
even worse than
reclamation
Killian.
project. I can't wait to get pissed off when we are playing Patrick Williams next year.
How many more you got?
I have one more trade again for a scoring guard because we need scoring. This is from the Heat, who seem to play better without Tyler Hero. So how about Joe Harris, Killian Hayes, and that same 2026 top 10 protector for Tyler Hero?
Why are the Heat doing that?
Because they play better without Hero.
Yeah, but
if they're gonna trade Tyler Hero, they're not gonna trade him for 2026 Killian Hayes and Joe Harris.
Killian Hayes.
I mean, I feel like Killian on the
I mean,
Heat
if they
would work.
said yes, I'd consider it, but I don't know. I don't know about that one. That was tough. Because I like Tyler Hero, but then we run into the same problems we were talking about earlier. Like who's taking minutes away from? Yeah, and then the team gets small, and then I don't know. I feel like the only way to make a trade right now is if you go get a power forward and you move Sue to the bench.
I really think Bogey and Asar will play the 4, either one, the 2 wings. And then we still move Stu to the bench. That's
But is
really
there
what
a
I'm
guy
waiting
out there
for.
that's like a bogey shooter and at least like above
No.
average on defense? Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think.
All right.
Like, I wish we
Bogey
could
is the
find a guy
best
like
shooter in
that.
the league, probably. Like
Yeah,
straight up.
probably. Yeah, this is also
All right.
true.
I'm on the trade machine right now. I'm whipping something up in my mind. I have an idea. But keep going. I shouldn't have interrupted. I'll hop in with this
I'm
when I have
so
it.
curious what the gears are turning in there, man.
I mean, some other big like trade targets. Malcolm Brogdon, I'm sure he's available. He would be, but like again, we don't really need a guard like that.
If we were contending, I would definitely go get me a Malcolm Brogdon.
I mean, Gallinari's at 4 that you want, right? He's a big 4 that can space the floor.
He's a big
bad
4.
on defense, but
He's just terrible on defense. Yeah, I mean, we're
What
gonna have
about-
so many Bogdanovich prototypes on this team. Joe Harris, Bogdanovich himself, Gallinari. But like I was talking to Valley about this, right? But when Bogey and Harris come back, say you run a lineup out there of like Cade, Burks, Harris, Bogey, Stu. Like think about how much room Cade is gonna have to operate. Like that's what's just like getting me through this right now. You know,
What
it's just
about
it's at the
Kuzma?
end.
he was also on
thought about
my
that.
list. Yeah,
A
I thought
similar
about
deal
that.
to the Levine deal, maybe a little bit less. He's a 3-4 that can that can score the ball.
Yeah.
and he plays
He's
defense.
a big, strong guy who can hold up against 4s in the league. He's 6'10", I think.
And he's a Michigan guy.
And he's
Like,
from
Yeah.
from the
Flint.
state of Michigan. Just gave
Little-
just donated a bunch of clothes to female prisoners in Flint.
What's his contract situation?
He's got 4 years at $25 million a year.
That's not bad.
That's not that
at
bad.
all. I would love a little Kyle Kuzma on this team.
I would
think
love
he fits
that.
the timeline reasonably well. How old is he?
Late
20.
20s.
I feel like he fits the timeline. I think he's 28. So
Yeah.
by the end of that, he's 32. That's still well within like the good range of a big scoring forward. Wouldn't mind some Kuz.
And
I
he
wouldn't
could
mind
be,
Kuz.
he'd
I
be
would-
much
I
more
would actually
efficient
take
with like a lower role on our
Yeah.
team.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind it. I don't think he's a go-to guy, but I definitely think he can be like a piece. You know?
Yeah,
Is Brandon Ingram a good defender? I should pay more attention.
he was on the Lakers. He was really good, but I think he's definitely dropped off since taking a larger offense.
Like, I feel like Brandon Ingram would fit well on this team too.
a little bi. He dribbles a lot.
He does.
He is good. He can hoop. But yeah, give me some. I don't know what we're giving the Pelicans. That would
Yeah, I mean,
because they're
I'm
trying
just
to win
saying, I
games
could
right
just
now.
take another player and put him on my team.
Oh man.
Give me Jokic.
We can go back. Devin Booker and KD were wearing those Detroit hats. Can we finagle something there? Do we have $80 million of salary to send over?
We will once we pay our guys, and then
Real.
the Suns will flame out in 2 years in the playoffs. KD will
40
retire,
KD. Yeah.
and then Devin Booker will come to Detroit.
I mean, Devin Booker's a good guy for this team. Like, he's a lot of what we need right now.
Yeah, a good player is what we need.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, we could use an MVP candidate, personally. That's what I think.
We need a Hall of Fame candidate. What are you talking about? All right, what's next on the agenda here? Connie, did we get through? You want to start your 4 topics?
Yeah, sure. I just got like Gabe's idea. This is a little fact or fiction. I'm gonna drop just a statement, and you tell me if it's fact or if it's fiction. Jaden Ivey is the best prospect and the best player on these Detroit Pistons.
You're saying the best player currently.
Yeah, currently and prospect into the future. Jaden Ivey is the best.
I would have to say Star is the best prospect.
Oh, okay. I still think it's Cade for both.
Well, like Cade is like,
Well,
I don't know.
Give me the sell on Asar. Give me the sell on Asar. Why is Asar the best prospect moving forward?
well, think about this. Asar Thompson has already made waves in the league as he is right now, and that's just on one side of the ball. Everybody in the league knows who this guy is, and he can't shoot. Like, imagine what happens when he actually gains some sort of offensive, like, whatever the word is, like competency, offensive competency. Like when he's gonna be able to, I don't know. What if he takes a guy off a dribble and develops a step back? What if he can blow by anybody on his way to the rim with his footwork and get to the rim at will? What if he starts averaging 15 to 20 points a game on top of being an all defensive first team? Then what? Then what's gonna happen? Everyone's gonna make sure that he's circled on their scouting report. He's gonna take the other team's best player, shut them down, therefore taking all effectiveness away from the other team, and then adding 15 to 20 points on top of that. Then on top of that, Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, yeah, maybe they're good players. They can do whatever they have to do. I feel like Asar Thompson makes or breaks how far this team can go right now.
Yeah, he just has two real big skills. I think he probably has the ability to have an insane first step, right? Like he is that sort of athlete, but he doesn't have the handle to capitalize on it right now.
And he's gonna get stronger too, which is even more crazy. The kid's like 21 years old and he's holding up against Jimmy Butler.
Not worried about it, but his handle is weak, and you can see it in the way he attacks the rim. When he attacks the rim off a pass, like when someone else sets it up, and he just gets to go step rim attack, he's a monster. Like he flies.
When that reverse layup he had against the Wizards, the up and under, he was just hung in the air.
When he has to dribble it himself into the attack, it's often a much softer, less aggressive attack, and that has to do with him just not having the handle to set himself up. And on the other side of it, it's like if he develops a jump shot, yeah, sure. If he develops a jump shot, he's nuts.
That's what I'm saying. If you want to talk about prospect,
very far away from developing a jump shot right now.
Yeah, but that's what a prospect is.
He's positive either way already.
Yeah. I mean, but that's what a prospect is, right? It's a work in progress.
Yeah, but it's like his shooting slider is like.
Do you have more faith in Jaden Ivey's defense or Asar Thompson's shot? That's the question.
Do I believe? I believe more in Jaden.
You can't teach instincts.
Yeah, I believe more in Jaden Ivey's instinct in his defense. You also oftentimes can't teach a complete non-shooter to become a competent three-point shooter.
His mechanics are fine. He just needs reps, Like, think about how wonky Jaden Ivey's jump shot was when he first came into the league.
Yeah, it's a different level of bad with Asar. And you say he needs reps. He's been hooping his whole life.
Yeah, but this is like the best level of competition he's ever had to face. He's never had to shoot regularly. When he was in OTE, the man could just out-athlete everybody and dunk everything.
And I'd argue Asar has been our best player aside from Cade.
There's nights where Asar is the best player.
He's clearly the best defender.
Like
top 5 in the league, probably.
Like the highlight, the stuff that you look at, it is that. But it's like when he doesn't have the ball.
He cuts. He gets offensive rebounds. He screens. Like his IQ is off the charts.
Yeah, but it's the spacing. Like we can't.
Yes, imagine if he had
destroying the
spacers around him.
And then turn around that's the problem with this conversation. Shooting around. He's part of the problem. Like you can't shit on Killian Hayes for ruining the spacing, and then on the other side be like, yeah, Asar Thompson, good offensive player, because he is also ruining the spacing on this team.
He does things to minimize his weaknesses. Killian just stands there.
But and that's we've kind of deviated from the point here. Are we talking about Asar this season, or are we talking about Asar as a prospect?
I have real concerns about that jump shot developing into anything that is passable.
Okay.
Everything else, no, I don't have concerns about. And you could fit him into something, but like when those games get real important, like if we are ever a good team and those games get important, there's going to be a guy out there that, teams just aren't really going to care about.
Isaac Okoro.
Exactly.
I do not want him on my team. Yeah, okay. Connie, have you played a game in a gym where like your 4 teammates don't play basketball and then you play worse as well and you just can't do anything?
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah, that's Cade right now. And he's still putting up 25.
But I'm also bad at basketball is the other thing. You know, that's the other
Okay,
thing that
yeah.
plays into that.
Scale
Dude,
it up a little bit.
I'm an Asar Thompson type, dude. I'm better when the team is better. I'm a role player.
I still think the answer is Cade and Cade. He was the number one pick for a reason. He's
Okay,
putting
well,
up
okay,
good,
take Cade
good.
out. Cade is Cade. Cade, like you said, Cade is Cade. Take Cade
Yeah,
out.
but
Can I
Connie
make-
said Jaden Ivey's the
Can I
best
make
player
the
on the
Ivy
team
case?
currently.
Okay,
Go
make the
ahead.
All right, Ivy, most efficient guy on this team. Super solid scorer. Is when I watch Cade, he is the guy on this team that has the easiest time getting by his man and breaking down the defense. Like it's so easy for him to beat his man. And something that he's been doing this year, which they talked about last year a lot, is he's been playing at different speeds rather than just top speed every time. And you can see it a lot in his finishing. Jaden Ivey is shooting over 70% at the rim. He was dang near 50% at the rim last year.
Yeah, I remember he missed so many layups last year.
And he's not missing them anymore. Like he can get to the rim and he can make the layup. He has a good jump shot. He has a good jump shot that can be worked into step backs, into catch and shoots, into off the dribble stuff. He's a great passer. He makes great interior passes and slings to the outside. He has elite physical tools with the speed tools, with the just the foot speed, the first step. He is screaming future De'Aaron Fox to me right now, and I'm higher on him. Like everybody else on this team, like Cade, I'm maybe a little bit lower on than I was before the season started, just because I was like astronomically high on Cade. Jaden Ivey's the only guy that I've like increased my hype for during the season, which has been
Jalen Duren. His name
Yeah, I was gonna
hasn't come
say.
up, by the way.
We need to make a case for JD.
Yeah, I did say he
We're
was the
taking
top
this-
3 center.
We're taking this losing streak to a whole new level. Everyone's already mad at the Pistons. We're literally dividing them up on why people should pick one player over the other.
I mean, that actually brings me. We could go to.
Didn't
we
he
can talk
just
about
turn
Jalen
19,
Duren
Duren?
on my next one? Can I go to my next question?
Yeah.
Statement?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Fact or fiction? Jalen Duren is the next Andre Drummond.
That is big
Okay, is that a
fiction.
good or a bad thing?
It's both.
It's more a bad thing because
Yeah, then no, fiction.
Jalen Duren, yeah, he just turned 19, right?
Yeah,
Or was it,
no,
did he just turn 20?
He's no longer
Yeah,
a teenager.
He's averaging
old man. now.
13 and 11, basically, with 3 assists a game.
Yeah,
That's not he's only played 10 games this season, and like the games he doesn't play, we're a much worse team than when he does play.
but that's just a function of like who plays when he's not there. It's like if he doesn't play, James Wiseman plays, and like obviously we're going to be a better team when he plays because James Wiseman is the worst player in the NBA.
Yeah, but also shows how good
really not
and
the
how
worst.
smart he is as a player.
He is currently at 3.2 assists to 3 turnovers a game. Like he gets a lot of assists. He also is one of the biggest culprits for the turnover issue that the Pistons have.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that though because it's
I
him.
mean,
learning to pass.
It's
That
him
is something-
learning,
yeah,
trying to
okay.
expand his game, and I'm cool with that.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yes, he has
made
some ugly.
big passes.
Yeah.
That's learning curve. That I think will help in the long term. My more legitimate issue with him is on the defensive end. I think
Yeah.
offensively, he's a fine product right now, and he will continue to be better on offense. Right now, he's a good offensive player, and he'll be a good offensive player in the future. Defensively, he's got all the tools. He is out of position. He's like turned away from the ball. He's in the wrong spot to block a shot a lot, I feel. How do you guys feel
That's
about
still
that?
an issue.
It's still an issue. And it could be a function of the rest of the defense not being that good, but I don't feel that the other team feels his presence as a shot blocker, as a rim protector, as much as they should.
Well, the other thing is we switch everything. So like he's not always at the basket. He might be out guarding someone up top. And then like you said, the defense has been so bad that he probably feels like he has to cover everybody's behind, and he can't do that. So I feel like when, the other 4 guys on the floor, well, okay, stars out there. When the other three guys on the floor get better, Jalen Duren will get better.
We just keep saying that about every person. It's like every guy on the team is like Cade. If the other guys on the floor were better, he'd be better. Asar, if the other guys on the floor were better, he'd be better.
I mean, that's a kind of
At some point, the
product of
guys
them
are
being
the other guys.
20 and 21 years old, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're like, what are you?
You will get better.
Yeah, what are you realistically expecting out of a 20-year-old though, right? Like that's the question. Like, what do you want him to do? Average 4 blocks a game?
No,
I mean, I
just
get what
want
you're
him,
talking about, being in
like,
position and stuff, but like, I'm okay with those mistakes. He's still 20 and learning, you know.
but
I think the
like,
problem
you
is
don't
like
really
we came
see
into the season so high, like, oh, we're gonna make the play-in, and we started off like not just bad, we started off like atrociously. Like this is badder than bad, if that's even the thing. So
And
I
I
get
think,
it.
sorry, go ahead.
No, that's all I was gonna say. I'm glad you saved me.
I think the main thing that differentiates him from Drummond and a lot of other like older bigs is his like mindset. He doesn't want to post up. He knows his role and he literally just plays his role, except he's not very good at defense yet. But I think that will come because he is a smart player.
Mhm.
He's a smart guy. He just, he needs reps. He's only, like I said, he's only played 10 games this season.
Yeah, I mean, how often have we seen a guy cutting to the basket and Duren sees it before it's happening, and the guy that's cutting doesn't even know what's happening? Like he's made some really good passes, and if he can see that kind of stuff with the ball in his hand, you're sure as heck gonna be sure that he sees it defensively. So he knows what he has to do. It's just reps and experience, I think. I mean, again, we can say that about everybody, but what else do we have at this point? Like we're not gonna tear this team down. This team's not going anywhere. We're not going to
No, I
trade
think
Cade.
no matter what's going on, we just stay the course this year. Like
Exactly.
we're not. I know, this is kind of your next question here, but like we're not this bad when we're healthy.
No, we are not.
So that I guess that yeah, you just answered it. But fact or fiction, the Pistons are just as good now as they would be fully healthy.
Fiction in all caps.
Yeah.
Like
I texted you guys this. I watched some Bogdanovich highlights from last year. He is like I can't understate how good this guy is. Like
Yeah.
he was our best player last year. He'd be our best player this year. He is extremely efficient. He can score in so many ways, and he's probably the best like straight up shooter in the NBA.
I mean, no, but yeah.
I mean,
okay, other than Curry.
Okay.
I don't want it to get twisted that like Bogey coming back is going to solve all of our problems. It's not. And I know we make it sound like that because we keep saying wait for Bogey to come back, wait for Bogey to come back. Some of the efforts that we put out, especially in that last game against the Wizards,
that was disgusting.
Terrible. That was terrible. Bogey's not going to fix that. I will say I'm very happy that I saw Monty Williams frustrated. Someone interacted with us on Twitter saying that they thought that it was a show. I totally disagree with that. Monty's mad. Like, you get paid all this money to move across the country. Your wife is battling cancer. Yeah, that's exactly what he wants. He wants to start 2-4. What are we? We're 2-15 now. That's exactly what Monty Williams wanted. No, it's not. It's not what Cade wanted. And we talked about it on the last pod. This team, when we said this team could contend for a play-in spot, that was with the entire roster that we thought we were going to have. We don't have the low turnover guy in Monte Morris. We may not have him for the rest of this calendar year. We haven't had Bogey yet this year. Alec Burks, like one of you said it, forgot to shoot the ball when he came back from his injury. Like this team is not this bad. We're just playing really bad. If that makes sense.
But see, I never like I never really liked that line of thinking. It's like we're not that bad. It's just what's happening to us. But it's like what's happening to us is what's happening.
Do you think Memphis is bad?
That's like yes.
But they're bad now. But do you think their players on their team are bad? If they had Ja,
Okay,
and Steven
off rip,
Adams.
the guys
Yeah.
that we are missing are not John Morant. Like,
But they are Steven Adams. Like, that's how important Bogey is to this team. Connie, I think you mentioned this last year. I forgot when, but like when Bogey comes back, he puts everyone in like the level of order that they should be. Like Cade won't be the only guy with the ball in his hands. You know, Asar won't need to be that guy wide open on three because Bogey will be the number one option on offense, and that puts everyone
But
else back in their
that-
role.
isn't that a little depressing as well? Like we have our number 1 overall pick in his 3rd year. We have other like top draft
Second year.
guys we
Yeah, second year.
3rd year guys we believe in, and it's like
They're not as good as a
34-year-old
European beast in his
journeyman
prime.
is our
Yeah.
number 1 option with a bullet, and we're like, this is a good team. Like
When we're not a good team.
14 right now.
Don't get me wrong.
Like
We're a bad team.
yeah,
but we're
Morris
not
and
this
Bogey
bad.
aren't like Shaq and Kobe. Like it's not like they pull up and we're a good team. Like team would still be bad with him out there.
But
It would
they're
be
like
slightly better. We'd have like 5-6 wins maybe.
that's okay.
And that's not drastic enough.
That's good.
That's a huge swing. That's like
Right.
4 more wins. That's
And it's
4 more
big.
days of happiness.
Like
if we had 6
I
wins
think
right now, bro.
yeah, I'd be going crazy. But I think he puts us back to where like our prediction was of like a 30-win team. In the grand scheme of the NBA, that's a bad team. But you win a game a week, and we'd be happy. No, we wouldn't go. What is it now? 15 games losing streak. 14.
14. Gonna
right
be
now.
15
15 after
baby.
tonight.
We got
Yeah.
the Lakers.
No,
Or
no,
15
no.
after-
We're gonna
It's gonna be
win. We're
17
gonna
or
win
something.
tonight.
Oh, we're winning tonight? Oh, you know why we lost? Because we haven't recorded a podcast. Now that we're
Yeah,
recording one,
exactly.
we're gonna win. That's exactly
And I
what
haven't got a Pistons shirt on today. I'm hyped for a win.
Hey, let's go. All right, we're gonna lift the Buffs on curse today. That's what's up. Yeah, this team
Yeah,
is
if
not.
we win this game, we have to start dropping like daily podcasts.
We do. We're gonna record every day for the rest of the year.
We'll just drop like a 10-minute pod before every game, just to
Yeah,
keep this
And if
alive.
that doesn't work, then it's a 20-minute pod. We just gotta find the right timing. That's
Yeah,
all.
we just gotta keep potting longer. That's what it is.
That's
We're
exactly.
not potting long enough.
Oh, you had one more fact or fiction, right?
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna like this one, man.
I'm pretty sure I won't.
Fact
I
or
think I read it.
fiction? Asar Thompson can't be a viable player in a good NBA offense.
I think he already is.
But we're not good on NBA offense.
Yeah, I know. In a good offense. Put him in the Boston lineup. Take out, I don't know.
Like, what is
When-
a good NBA offense, though? Like, can you define that?
Top 10.
Okay.
Like, look at Draymond Green, right? Look at Rudy Gobert. They're useless.
Okay, Rudy
on
Gobert-
offense.
Yeah, I'll
7
compare
feet
him
tall.
because Draymond Green is just like 2 of the best shooters of all time. So I can't count
Exactly.
that.
They're in a good offense. They're useless offensively.
Rudy Gobert is 7 feet tall though, and can screen and run to the hoop. Like there's
So can Asar.
Thompson has like a 49,000.
like Asar can jump high and he can get up that high. It's a different thing when you're 7'2" with like an 8-foot wing. It's
You're
just
the-
a different thing. You play you
The biggest
occupy-
Gobert hater I know, Connie. You hate that guy.
and he's been pretty like, but you're still like it's just still easier as like a non like shooter if you're 7 feet tall.
Okay, Robert Williams.
He's also a big guy.
Okay, but these are also centers.
Yeah, but he's like
Are you
6'8"
playing
compared to
Asar at
7'1".
5?
No, I'm just asking. Like, we're just talking about non-shooters, aren't we? I was just trying to-
Theoretically, I
Maybe
think
a
he could play the
non-shooter that's not a
5.
center
Yeah, theoretically.
to compare it.
Derek Jones Jr. He's been
There
okay.
you go.
It's been okay. Yeah, sure. He's a bit player. If that,
That's
No,
that-
but
pretty
like, okay, and this
exactly
is also rookie Asar Thompson. He's still like on our team. Like he's still a decent offensive player. Like he's averaging over 10 points a game on like 40. What is it? 40 like 5%
it's just
shooting. That's not bad for a rookie.
just really have an issue with the spacing. And
Yeah, of course, I agree.
he is a major part of. Like he
I
is one of
agree.
the driving factors in why this team has no space on the offensive end.
But if you put a competent wing beside him, and if Ivy can shoot, like catch and shoot as a threat, then he does things where he doesn't need to be a shooter. And I also think he shoots 70% from the line. Like Amit said, like his shot doesn't look that bad. It's just really stiff and really slow, and he has no confidence.
He doesn't
But
seem
I
like
think
he has the power down either.
no,
Either
it's
chucks
way
it short or chucks it way long. Yeah, I don't know.
He's just too smart. I think, give
I
him.
think that's where I landed on it with him too. Like I know I made these up and I'm arguing for the fact, but that is where I landed on it too. He just does too much of the other things, the basketball intelligence, the IQ, like the quick passing. One that comes to mind personally right now is where Cade like was posting up or something, like had it down on the block, kicked it up to Asar, like then immediately moved to the hoop. And Asar Thompson, like in one motion, didn't hold the ball for a second, caught the ball, tossed it right back out to the cutting Cade, and got a layup. He's too smart. He's too mobile. He's too good of a passer to not be at least a somewhat viable player. Is where I also landed on this. Sometimes it's good.
Yeah.
The shot is a real concern. Like
I'm honestly not that concerned about
but
it.
if he
I
gets
keep seeing
the shot,
Kawhi Leonard, and my eyes are still. I have my Kawhi
like I don't think he's
Leonard glasses
no,
on.
if he gets the shot, he's an all-star. He's an all NBA guy with a jumper. That's just flat out. But he doesn't have it.
So, after everything we've talked about, I think this is kind of the perfect question to kind of wrap this up. What would need to happen from here on out to be considered a successful season?
Win some games.
Okay, yeah, but what is some? Like if we're gonna jump in my
2-50
hypothetical
right
time
now.
machine.
I mean, okay, so the Magic, they were 5-20 to start last year, and then they played like 500 ball afterwards. If we win, so what? How many? We've played what, like 20 games ish?
We're 2-15. We're at 17. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Like if we end the season with like 25 wins, but we're competitive, then I'm pretty happy.
So that's going 23-42 the rest of the way.
Yeah, and I think that's underselling the team.
Yeah. I would have, yeah. Anything, I think you need to win. Okay. For starters, we need a baseline. Anything over 18, or you got to win more than 17 games. Bottom line, you cannot have a repeat of last season. That was just no. We can't do that.
No.
And yeah, I agree with Gabe. 25 wins is like the basement floor of what needs to be successful. Yeah.
Really, it's just to be out of the like national news that we're a terrible team.
I
want to be in the national news that we're a good bad team.
I want to be better.
Yeah,
than
I want
Spurs.
the narrative to be slow start, strong.
Spurs and the Wizards.
Spurs and the Wizards. Better record than the Spurs and the Wizards. It would be
and the Hornets.
We're not catching all that.
They don't have LaMelo.
Well, fine. He's going to come back at some point.
No, he's not. He's never. That's fine. I still think we're a better team than Charlotte. Honestly.
Maybe.
Probably not.
Perhaps.
They're better guys than us at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, game's starting kind of soon. I gotta make some dinner beforehand. So why don't we look ahead? If you guys have, unless you guys have anything else to add.
No, nothing. I'm in the same boat, man. I want to chow down before the game. So, Connie, you got anything, or we can take a brief?
Just Valley. Valley wanted to.
Oh yeah, touch on that. We touched on one of them.
Say that Valley was saying that run more through Ivy to get Cade into situations where he sees less bodies, and I fully agree.
Yep.
Ivy should be more in touches. There should be more of a flow to the offense rather than Cade just trying to run a heliocentric thing where all the planets are a foot away from him.
I know they told Cade to run the Luka type offense at USA Basketball. That's not what this offense needs. We have so much more talent than that, and we should do
also
not Luka.
Yeah.
Nobody Luka.
I'm sorry, he's not. He's not
He's
that
not-
guy.
Yeah,
Like Luca, he's not Luca.
yeah. There was one more he had, right? Or did we touch
It
on
was
him?
bring
The
Stu off
speed.
the bench.
Yeah, we
Which
touched
Which
on it.
yeah, once Bogey gets healthy, which is he playing tonight? Anybody know?
No, he's out.
He's out.
Him and Joe Harris.
Oh,
I guarantee you he either comes back tomorrow or Saturday. Okay, I shouldn't say that. I'm very bad with those things. But he'll come back soon.
Guarantee.
And when
All
Bogey
right.
comes back, the fan base is going to rejoice. It's going to be great.
Let's look ahead.
Let's look ahead. So we're basically midway through the week here. And since the game technically hasn't happened yet, well, when you listen to this, it will have. We got the Lakers today. We got the Knicks in New York tomorrow. And we got the Cavs at home, I believe, on Saturday. We're not winning this week.
Agreed. 0-3.
I think we're gonna win tonight. Like I said, Lakers got absolutely hammered last night.
Exactly. They're looking for
they're
a
angry.
re-railing game.
Yeah, it's like when the
back
bully
on
gets
track.
punched in the face. Like he doesn't go back. He finds another kid to pick on. Where
A
the
weaker,
kid
a weaker kid to just slam into some lockers.
Yeah.
My only
getting-
hope is that AD won't play because he got like beat up by Embiid.
He's probable. LeBron is questionable.
Hey.
That is like it's like a 40 piece from Christian Wood or some shit, man. Like
I swear to
Christian
no,
Wood revenge game.
yeah.
don't. Can we not do this? Please?
And yeah, we're gonna get destroyed by New York as always.
New York has our number every single time. Jalen
Cleveland
Brunson-
as well. They always
Cleveland
beat
as well,
us.
They have too much
Yeah.
size. They just block every like we have that issue with the two shot blockers where the guys on this team really like getting their shot blocked.
Oh yeah, I think they sometimes forget that we get points for putting balls in the basket, not from moving away from it. So I think that needs to be part of the game plan. But let's look more positively here. Well, kinda. We didn't make the in-season tournament. Yay, shocker. Okay, so we have 2 games next week with non-qualifying teams. The first one against the aforementioned Grizzlies at home,
That's a win.
or we go to Orlando and Killian Hayes gets to fight again, this time in Orlando. So do we beat Orlando? I don't
No.
think so. I don't think. I mean, we might.
Hell no.
I
We
think we're gonna
might.
win 2
We always-
games.
We always pull something out against Orlando. What was that game?
Of these 5, we're gonna win 2.
This Orlando team, they're second in the East right now.
Yeah, they're just on a hot streak right now.
Yeah,
they have
well,
no
we're first
offense.
at
But they're
bottom.
not. They're just like
We might be
crushing defensive team. They
Better on offense than them, and that's
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
saying something.
We dropped 100 points against the worst defense in the league in the Wizards, bro. The Orlando Magic are gonna suffocate this team.
Well, technically, the Pistons are first in the league if you look at the records from worst to best. So
Yeah, just
Oh.
do a handstand and then it looks pretty good.
exactly,
Playing
or
golf
do what
with-
I do, just close one eye and everything looks great. It's perfect. All right, so we got Gabe thinking that we're winning 2 games. Connie, are you still stuck on the 0-5 train?
Oh, 0-5.
You
No,
wanna
we're beating the Grizzlies.
We're
Fuck
beating
the
the.
Grizzlies, man.
I think we're gonna beat. I really want to beat Orlando. I don't like Orlando. I don't
We've
know
got to
why.
get a win, right?
I mean, yeah, right. Like it's not
League-
possible to go 2-80, is it? Like
League record is 26 straight losses.
if we didn't play the if we lose to the Grizzlies,
It's happening.
I'm on board with it. Well, actually, the Grizzlies are a good team, so I'm not cashing in a win there.
If this team loses 27 straight games, I don't know.
The pod's done. The pod's done.
We might have to wrap.
Come
it
on, man. There needs to be an actual sacrifice here. We'll put more episodes out if they go 27 straight. How's that?
If we lose to the Grizzlies, though, our next 5 are Orlando, Indiana, Philly, Milwaukee.
That's with 5 losses.
So what did that put us up to? What did that put us up to? 5 plus 4
But
plus
it's at
9.
24.
That's
Yeah.
so close, dude. Oh my
Look at-
god. We are
Just a
dangerously
one win
close to
in
the
the
worst
middle
team
there
in NBA
somewhere.
history.
Just to break it up. We could lose another 14. Just one win in there so that it's not league
worst.
record setting.
Okay. All right, so let's do it this way. One last fact or fiction to round it up before Gabe and I grab some grub. Do the Pistons achieve the worst losing streak in NBA history?
No, when Bogey comes back, we win. Same day.
Oh, I
He's
forgot.
dropping a
Bogey.
40 burger.
Fact.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay,
I'm currently,
unless Bogey doesn't come back for 2 weeks, I'm
I'm saying fact. I'm currently stuck deep in the steady state fallacy, where when you're where a human being incorrectly assumes that their current state will be their state for eternity. This is a thing in the human psyche, and I'm currently experiencing it.
Did you just drop some psychological facts on us during a basketball?
Yeah.
I love
Legit.
this.
What I've been thinking about this week is I have maybe like I got maybe a good 70 years left on this earth, and I was thinking, will I see a good Pistons team?
Okay, and we'll make a deal with the listeners. When the day the Pistons win a game, we are going to record a mini pod right after because
we're gonna do an emergency podcast.
yeah, this qualifies as an emergency podcast. Breaking news: the Pistons have won a game.
All right.
Anything else before we get on out of here and go lick our wounds against the Lakers and the Knicks and the Cavs?
No.
No. All right. Well, keep your heads up, Detroit. I want to say throw the buffs on. The future is bright. I can't. Just throw the buffs on so that your teacher can't tell that you're falling asleep in class. Until next time. See you guys later.